Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how I made the Ifrit edit. If you guys see my Instagram story, or if you've seen on the Arknights Reddit, if you've seen a post like this, yeah, I made this through inspiration from TeamWnJ from YouTube. I found his channel recently, and I saw a video of him remaking the frames from the chapter 5, which, Chen. He replaced Chen with Texas. He remade the whole thing with the Texas Japanese text, with the background and everything, and the sprite as well. It was a really cool concept. It was a really cool video. I really liked it, so I decided maybe I could do it too. It's been a while since I've touched Photoshop, so this is what I have in mind. Also, why am I wearing headphones? I'm not even listening to anything. Also, is my webcam a little bit too big? I don't know. Maybe I'll try just a little bit down here. Maybe.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Look at this dude.
Good. Okay, so if you can see it, here's the video. He remade the whole Chen scene and in the trailer. It's pretty awesome. I gotta say, it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna try explaining how I did this all in Photoshop. Of course, it's not as good as what Choi made. I think that's his name, Julian Choi. If I'm wrong, please correct me. And here's what I did. Okay, so here we have the original, which was made by Julian Choi in the TeamWnJ channel. Of course, this already looks pretty amazing with the shading, also the lighting effect on her blades. It wasn't there before, but he put it in. It was a very nice detailed touch. Also, the LED lights in the back, those are really cool. I tried replicating them as best as I can, but yeah, and I also liked how he put the Penguin Logistics icon logo in the back. It's actually kind of hard to see, but if you can see it, you can see it. Also, I don't know if my webcam is interrupting the left side of the video or not. I'm gonna try moving it to the right. Yep. Okay, to the right. Okay. There we go. Okay, hopefully this looks a bit better for your eyes to see. Kinda looks okay, I guess. Okay, yes. So I have everything here, and I'm gonna try my best to explain what I did in this edit. This is by any means not a tutorial. It's just me trying to explain what I did to make this edit, which is obviously a tutorial, but it would be more fun if I were to record it. But I totally did not forget to record this. No, I'm not that dumb. I totally did not forget to record all of this from scratch to finish. Okay, so let's try actually deleting everything from scratch. Okay, so first what I did was I made a solid black background, and I tried playing with the gradient. Also, it's been a while since I've done edits like these, so apologies if I don't remember some effects, or if I don't remember what I actually did, because it's all trial and error. I'm not a professional or anything. It's a learning process. We all do our best. So what I did was I tried making a clipping mask to the background with adjustment layers. Yeah, adjustment layers. I tried using the radial with red because I was trying to replicate the whole thing as much as I can, because, for reference and such like that. And yeah, I tried making this. So for safety reasons, I made another copy of that layer. I transformed that into a rasterized layer, and then of course I can move it around now. So that was actually the first step of it, the background. Okay, so what I did next was I tried looking for some stock images or some LED lights on Google, and luckily I found these. Originally it wasn't like this. It was actually like the color was blue, so I made everything black and white, and I put an adjustment layer, and I colored it red, and I pasted it into this. Where is it? Okay, LED dots. So here it is. So as you can see, I copied them, and it kind of works. Yeah, so there's the right side, there's the middle, and that's the left side. Of course, what I did first before all this, I actually cut out the Ifrit. Yeah, actually cut out the Ifrit. This part was so long. It took me half an hour to a full hour. I think it was like 40-minute-ish. So of course I don't necessarily want the whole background to be with her, because I don't want the background to stand out that much more than Ifrit. So I used the pen tool and I erased everything in the background excluding her, you know, because I want her to be a PNG. And moving towards the upper body, I actually thought to myself what I should do with the demon, because it is canon that this thing is actually real and not a representation of what she is, unlike other operators. I think it was canon. So what I did was, well, you can actually see it right here. I actually cut out all of her, and I left out the hand of the demon, so it looks cool. It looks very cool. And if you're wondering where that demon boy is, where's Big Boy? Yeah, there's Big Boy right there. So I cut out some parts of his body, like from this part throughout his whole entire head, and made a feather around the chest so it doesn't look weird at all. Also, if you can see, there's this blurriness that's happening. That's because I want to make it so that the demon has more depth into the blur, because if I just do this, it just kind of looks weird. So I duplicated it, and the bottom layer I used the Gaussian blur, and it looks pretty decent. It's pretty decent. Okay, so this was before I made some adjustment to the colors. He looks exactly like this, and I made some adjustments to the brightness, contrast, and the hue and saturation. So what I did for the brightness and contrast is, the brightness I turned it down, and then the contrast I set it up. So the fire kind of stands out more than the whole face. That's not what I was looking for. It kind of looks weird. I tried to blend the whole thing with the background like this. With the hue and saturation, I used the colorize and made everything look red-ish. Also, please ignore this. I know, it's not healthy. You should get more sleep than I do. Hey, it's quarantine. What am I supposed to do? And now you know why I'm speaking at a very low tone. It is because it's 12 right now. I can't scream or make any loud noises. My parents are sleeping. I don't want to bother them. So what I did after, you know, the whole LED, so I looked up Ifrit and I found her like kanji Japanese name, and what I did, so I think it was, yes, yeah, it was this one. Originally it wasn't red. I actually screenshotted this from my notepad, so I like copied the whole thing, and then I pasted it, and then I screenshotted it. So I used a, what is it called again? The Franklin Gothic font, and it actually works out very well. So I selected everything with the color range selection, and I made everything red and PNG. So I slapped that in there, slapped that big boy. It was actually like this before, and it doesn't really look like it's standing out as a neon, so I want it to look neon effect ish. So I actually used the outer glow, and I picked a more red color for the background, outer lines, all that, because I want to copy the style of this, because this, not gonna lie, this actually looks pretty cool. Of course, just like the whole demon boy thing with the background, I copied the layer and I used the Gaussian border because it works perfectly fine, and it looks like this. It looks very, very cool. Okay, so this part is kind of hard to explain because I had to think, and it was a lot of trial and error while doing this. If you can see, this is actually kind of looks disturbing, so I'll explain it later. So what I did was I noticed that Choi, or Koi, sorry if I mispronounced your name. So Choi made Texas more. So I understand because of the lighting, dark and then neon, the lights are moving forward, so the lights are in the back, so the front will be more darker than the background. So I replicated the Ifrit PNG, slapped a adjustment layer of black color, and if you can actually see it there, I put the fill down to I don't know, I used 15. It was like 25 at first, but I felt like it was too dark, so I went with 15, but I don't know. And what I did next was I copied the PNG again, put it above the whole thing, and colored the thing black. And what I did next was the whole thing, I made the whole thing a group. So I made everything organized with layers and such. And what I did next, I put a clipping mask of an adjustment layer of brightness and contrast down, and just to make the effect more dark and up the contrast a little bit, just to make it more interesting. And here's where the fun starts, you know, because there's light behind her and you want to make that more realistic, you want to make it more stand out. So I made a clipping mask and I painted over it. Also, I used the soft light because it works fine rather than normal, because normal is just why. I mean, it kind of looks cool over here though, but not over here. Not over there, chief. It ain't cool. And if you can see it, like around these parts, I made the shadings because your text is like, think of the background, the text as lights. You know, like one of those lightings they use and they make it look like text, Japanese kanji. And it kind of looks like that. So I painted over with red color, you know, because red aesthetic. And it looks like this. Now what I did from here is the demon boy. I was thinking of where to put the demon boy. Do I want to put him on the front? Do I want to put him on the back? I tried putting him on the front, like next to Ifrit, like behind her, to make it look like he's bigger, like holding the fire. But it kind of looks weird. I guess it does look weird because the text, you can't actually see it. So I decided to put everything back below the LED and the kanji, the Japanese text. And it looks pretty decent. It looks pretty great. Okay, so before I mentioned something about ignoring this piece, yeah, this piece right here, well, so this copied layer right here is actually a copy of the whole thing without her like demon arm. So I used the ellipse tool. I used this and then I created a mask around her, around the arm. I make a selection and put the feather, I think, to 20. I think the feather was 20 or 40. I think it was 40. I used Control-Shift-I just to make the whole outside the selection, and I deleted it just to get that effect. If you can actually see it, like this whole area of her arm is much more brighter than it is over here. It is because of that layer right there. So if I delete this, yeah, see, you can actually see the feather of it right there. So it makes it stand out more. Attention to detail. But that is not all that I did. So if you actually noticed, I actually put the Rhine Lab logo behind the whole thing, behind the text, behind the LEDs. So it looks like that because I wanted to, okay, so I'll explain. So this is the whole thing that I downloaded from Google. Of course, I needed to up the image size and select everything from scratch. Okay, so first of all, it looks like this. What I did from there is I made a gradient map and it looks like this. So I want to make it look like a golden plate like texture or something, and I made a brightness and contrast adjustment layer above the whole thing. Turn down the brightness all the way down and up the contrast a little bit just to make it more in depth with the whole background. And next to that, I made a hue and saturation. And what I did was I turned the lightness down just to make it more dark, you know, aesthetic with the background. I copied the layer of, you know, the red the red blur background thing. I copied it, put it here, make a clipping mask, and it looks good. See, it's more in depth with the whole background. I want to make it look more darker than it is before. So if you can actually see it right here, this is layer number 4. This is a new layer. In this layer, I also use soft light blending mode, just to make, yeah, see, if you can actually notice the difference. So this is before, after, before, after. So I used the brush tool with 0 hardness, so I painted like a circle, like a vignette effect, just to make it like more focused on the center, because if I do it like this, it doesn't actually stand out all that much. So I did it like this. And that is basically what I did from scratch to finish. I was looking at the history and looking back, and it looks more brighter. I don't know what I did wrong, but you guys get the idea of what I did, okay? I forgot to record this, I forgot what I did, so this is basically everything that I did for the Ifrit. I mean, it kind of looks similar. If I were to rate this whole art piece that I made in Photoshop, art piece, silly me. So I'd say 7.5.
Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
Or 8.
Yes!
I guess 8. Hold on, I forgot one detail. I forgot these. Yeah, cause I also noticed that he put like these awesome, cool squares and like as borders, I guess. So I tried replicating that. And it kind of looks decent, kind of looks great. Okay, I think that's everything that I did. So hopefully this video helps you if you want to remake all this. And yeah, okay, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.